Yo, spoiler warnings moving forward, so if you're not trying to get spoiled by the Boruto manga, then you're gonna have to get out. If you're still here, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead, slide over, click the subscribe, and let's get ready for the video. Yo, what's good? It's your man, the Grass Ninja. We are tackling some Boruto content again, but this one I feel like is interesting because we're going to be pulling information from the part 1 of Naruto's manga. And I guess the anime, but you know, I'm a manga guy, so I don't want to talk about the anime. I'll let you know that now. But in Boruto right now, like, we're under the assumption that like there's karma stage 1, stage 2. Some people want to call true essence of karma 3, even though like Code can use it and like it doesn't transform him with a horn or anything like that. So I don't think that's karma 3 or whatever, like the dojutsu manifestation. I don't think that's karma 3. And I'm going to explain all that stuff in this video. But like, when we look at how Kishimoto developed the earlier parts of Naruto, like, he sprinkled bits and pieces of like, yeah, these power-ups are here and stuff. And then like when the story unfolded a little bit more, we learned that like, oh, this is the completed version of like, say like, Naruto's Nine Tails transformations, or like Naruto's or Sasuke's curse mark transformations, right? So like, let's start off with like, you know, just the obvious similarities, okay? Like, everyone knows that Momoshiki and Boruto's relationship, right? It's paralleling, it's basically like a carbon copy or whatever of Naruto and Kurama's thing, and everybody's fear is that like, oh, they're just gonna befriend him and everybody's gonna be friends in the end or whatever. But for all intents and purposes, right, that's a whole other topic. For all intensive purposes, Boruto and Momoshiki's relationship, right, and Naruto and Kurama's relationship are similar, right? There's undeniable similarities there. Now, there's also undeniable similarities between the Karma Seal itself and the curse mark that Orochimaru developed. Like, not even just like, oh, there's some seals that spawn tattoos. Like, their functions are literally similar, okay? So it's like Orochimaru's curse mark, right, has many similarities with the Karma Seal. And then when we look at, like, let's dissect that real quick. So when we look at KCM 1, right, it had multiple progressive states before it even became Curse Mark 2. Like, we're not going to call every little step of the way like Curse Mark 1, Curse Mark 1.5, Curse Mark 1.75. Like, you know, it's Curse Mark 1, okay? Now, the complete version of Curse Mark 1 is when Sasuke goes from just having his Curse Mark on half his body to the full body, right? Now, I'm not talking about, oh, Curse Mark 2 is when the tattoos like blend together. No, Curse Mark 1 in its completed state is just tattoos spread across your whole face, both arms, your entire body, right? Karma stage 1 is incomplete if we want to go by that metric, right? Like, we've seen another Otsutsuki or another Karma user, Karma vessel, use a Karma transformation where their tattoos spread across the whole body, okay? Now, being able to use the completed version of Curse Mark 1 was like one of the first steps for Sasuke before he ended up going into like, you know, Curse Mark 2, which was a completely different, completely demonic transformation, right? Now, when we look at Naruto in part 1, right, he had like all these other things, right? Like, he had Kurama always messing with him and trying to steal his body, similar to what Momoshiki's trying to do with Boruto now, right? So Kurama's influence over Naruto in the early parts of the story, right? Whenever he would mess with Naruto's chakra by like giving him some, or Naruto had to pull from the Nine Tails, right? It would manifest itself in like the form of like Naruto's eyes changing. So like, we knew Naruto was like pissed off or tapping into some Nine Tails power because his eyes would literally change into like the fox pupils. They turn red sometimes. Like, we knew Naruto meant business, right? Like, we look at all the steps that Naruto took before we even saw version 1 cloak, right? Like, Naruto's over here fighting Kimimaro with this Nine Tails amp, but there's no chakra cloak, right? Like, the first time we saw anything close to a chakra cloak was Naruto using it against Neji, but that was still an incomplete version of the chakra cloak, right? So like, there's bits and pieces that came and went until we got the full completed version of these powers, right? And then they were evolved further later in the story, right? So like, for Boruto to tell me that like, oh, he's at Karma Stage 1 and 2 already, even though we've seen Jigen use a full powered Karma or whatever. Like, here's the thing. Boruto is now 100% Otsutsuki, right? The only other time we saw a 100% Otsutsuki with Karma fight was with Jigen. And when Jigen fought, he would activate Karma, and the Karma would spread throughout the totality of his body. Similar to when Sasuke would use Curse Mark 1, or in any of the Sound 4 used Curse Mark 1. The tattoos spread across your entire body, right? Then you could take it up to the next level, okay? So now, adding that horn, I will say you can call that Karma 2. I still am iffy about that, but like, let's say it's Karma 2, just for y'all in the comments, right? Boruto's over here using Karma, activating the horn, but he doesn't have the full tattoo spread, right? Which makes me think it's not Karma 2, okay? Because Karma 2, I don't even think Jigen was capable of using, because Jigen was an inadequate vessel for Ishiki's power. He wouldn't be able to handle a certain amount of Ishiki's power, so I don't think we could even see Karma 2 in Jigen. We just saw what a complete Karma 1 would look like. And Jigen in Karma 1 had horns, a full tattoo spread, and was able to use the dojutsu of Ishiki. Like, we seen him use Sukuna Hakona, we seen him use Daiko Kuten, right? So it's like, alright, Jigen was able to use everything that we've seen Kawaki use right now, while having a full tattoo spread, right? Now, Kawaki's not at 100%, Boruto is. Now, Boruto's like, I can channel Momoshiki's powers better, right? So that means the next time we see Boruto fight and use the Karma Seal, and when he pushes it to the limit, he might actually utilize that full Karma Stage 1, like the completed Karma Stage 1, and be able to, like, you know, actually deal some damage to people, right? Or like, I don't know, he's pretty strong as is, but like, that is, in my eyes, the true version of Karma. Like, and then Karma Stage 2 could be anything from like what Fused Momoshiki looked like, where it's like, oh yeah, like even Fused Momoshiki, when he consumed a lot of power from Kinshiki, transformed into a more demonic state, similar to how the Curse Mark 2 looks, or the version 2 cloak of Naruto's Nine Tails transformations, right? So like, Naruto's Nine Tails transformations in version 2 cloak was probably the most painful thing we've seen him go through, and he even manifested like a skeletal exoskeleton on top of it. Like, the transformation was very dark and gritty and looked very evilish, right? Same thing with Curse Mark 2 with Sasuke. Like, he went full on demonic, and like, he had like wings growing out of his back that also look like hands. So it's like, okay, maybe Kishimoto is setting it up so it's like, we're just progressing step by step, and when we look back like a couple years from now and we're looking at what Boruto and them can do, our idea of Karma 1 is just them looking like Jigen. And then Karma 2 is going to be whatever the fuck they end up pulling off when they fight each other towards the end of this part 1 thing, because we know Boruto's story is going to parallel the journey of Naruto's story and stuff. It's not going to be the same, but they're going to try to hit some of the same strings, okay? Like, in Boruto's story is definitely pulling from part 1 Naruto. Like, Ishiki's whole philosophy was literally predestined fate, right? Which was Neji's philosophy before Naruto hit him in the face, you know? And then we got the power progression and the similarities between the Curse Mark and the Nine Tails, right? In their relationship. So it's like, Kishimoto, I think he knows what he's doing. And since this is a shonen manga, right? New transformations are inevitable, bro. We're going to see some new shit pop up when it comes to these boys, because when we watch them fight in their fast forward sequence, post time skip or whatever, they're not even using the full powers that we've seen them develop right now. So they're holding back shit, and they're holding back new transformations, because how annoying would it be if the only transformation Boruto has is the ones we've already seen him display as a child, and he doesn't grow any further from that. Like, when Naruto mastered his Nine Tails chakra, right, he acquired KCM, which was his own transformation, right? And then when he got the cooperation from the Nine Tails, he got KCM 2, which was like the full version of KCM. So even Kishimoto did it with KCM, okay? Then it was like 6 paths got involved and everything got wonky. But like you see it like in Kishimoto's work. Like he knows that there's the first form, which is the incomplete version, and then there's the true form or the second form, right? And then even with Sasuke, like the Susanoo evolved like multiple times. It went from skeletal to like half a body to like a full body Susanoo, and then like the perfect Susanoo, right? So it's like, all right. There's clearly a trope or something where Kishimoto's like, yeah, we're gonna evolve these powers over time, and then the true form of these powers will only be displayed later in the series, okay? So right now, what we're looking at is Boruto in part 1 using his part 1 powers, and there's going to be huge transformations going on forward, and Jigen had probably foreshadowed that for us when we saw him fight Naruto and Sasuke, okay? That transformation Jigen had, that's the transformation I need to see Kawaki have. I need to see Boruto take on a transformation like that himself before they end up pushing it to the next level where they might transform to be more like the fusion versions of their themselves, right? Like we saw what Urashiki and Momoshiki were able to pull off when they consumed too much chakra. They transformed into these more demonic-like beings, similar to how Sasuke and Naruto did when they ended up transforming into their next state with their earlier powers, right? And then if Boruto learns that I can just take your power and use it for myself, we might get a similar thing to like KCM. Instead of it being Kyuubi chakra mode, it could be the karma chakra mode, right? And then when Momoshiki decides, I'm going to actually work with you and cooperate with you, we might get the KCM 2, but instead of Kyuubi chakra mode 2, it'll be like karma chakra mode level 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we like the whole thing with like the chakra modes. Toneri has his own chakra mode, and he's an Otsutsuki. He's 100% Otsutsuki, and he knows he has his own chakra mode or his own Jin cloak or whatever. So it's like, yeah, my dude, these kids are not done, and I think we've defined these transformations too early, okay? So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. I'm wrapping things up. I'm your mans, the Grass Ninja, signing off.